Petzl Neox and the Edelrid Pinch are the two newest additions to the growing market of assisted braking devices. Many of you may be wondering the difference between the two and which one would be more appropriate for your use. So in this video, I'm going to break down the differences, some big, some small, between these two devices. Let's start with cost. The manufacturer price of the Petzl Neox is $150 and the Edelrid Pinch is $120. The difference of $30 is not insignificant. It should also be noted that for the Petzl Neox to function, it must be paired with a locking carabiner, whereas the Edelrid Pinch can be used without an additional locking carabiner. When comparing the weight of the two devices, the Petzl Neox weighs 235 grams, the Edelrid Pinch weighs 234 grams. That's only 1 gram of difference, so even Steven, right? Well, not quite. You see, the Edelrid Pinch can be used without a separate locking carabiner, so that could be considered a weight savings of 46 grams for a usable assisted braking device. In terms of size, the difference in dimensions is quite minimal, but you could again factor in the additional size of a locking carabiner for the Petzl Neox to function. For rope size, the Neox is approved to be used with single-rated climbing ropes between 8.5 and 11 millimeters. The Edelrid Pinch is approved to be used with single-rated dynamic ropes between 8.5 and 10.5 millimeters. There are some pretty noticeable differences when belaying a leader with the Edelrid Pinch versus the Petzl Neox. First, the real standout feature of the Petzl Neox is the smoothness and intuitiveness of adding slack quickly to the system. The spinning wheel inside the housing makes it very easy to keep up with a quickly moving climber even when they are making a big reach clip. It is more unlikely with the Petzl Neox that a belayer will accidentally short rope a lead climber, or that the device will unintentionally lock up while trying to add slack to the system. Second, there is no need for a special hand position when feeding slack with the Petzl Neox, meaning this device is easily mastered by anyone who can belay well with a standard tube-style belay device. Lead belaying with the Edelrid Pinch feels much more similar to belaying with a Petzl Gree, something many seasoned climbers are quite familiar with. The cam can engage when quickly paying out slack if care isn't used, and a quick slack grip method is illustrated in the technical details and instructions. This method takes a little bit of practice to do well, but isn't hard to master with some time. Finally, one notable difference here is the fact that you can connect the Edelrid Pinch directly to your belay loop without the need of a locking carabiner. This keeps the device about 4 inches closer to your body. This means you can pay out a little bit more rope with each arm motion. I'll need to spend some more time belaying lead climbers with both these devices to decide if this is truly noteworthy. Both the Petzl Neox and the Edelrid Pinch can be used to belay a second directly off an anchor in either a single pitch or multi-pitch setting. There are some differences between the two devices to discuss here. First, taking slack in with the Petzl Neox is extremely easy thanks to the spinning wheel in the housing. When using a hand on both the load and belay line, the rope pulls through the device as if it was running through a high-efficiency pulley. There's very little noticeable friction, which is a blessing on anyone with a little bit of elbow tendonitis. Also, with the Petzl Neox, rope diameter doesn't really change the amount of effort pulling slack through the device requires. The Edelrid Pinch feels quite similar in effort to pulling slack with the Petzl Gree. Thinner ropes will pull easier than thicker ropes. As for how quick either device will cam when presented with a load, i.e. a second falling, they both cam almost instantly when a brake hand is properly on the rope, providing some resistance on the other side of the device. There have been some dramatic social media videos shared showing how the Petzl Neox will not cam for quite some time in the event of missing a brake hand. Perhaps the Edelrid Pinch will make some climbers feel a little bit more secure, as it does seem to cam more quickly when a brake hand is absent. However, both devices clearly state in their instructions that in order for the camming mechanism to reliably engage, a brake hand must be present in the correct position so that there is some resistance on the brake strand side of the device. Neither of these devices are considered hands-free in any mode of use. Both of these devices are capable of lowering smoothly directly from the anchor. Likely the biggest difference here is the Edelrid Pinch has an anti-panic feature that is very similar to what Petzl introduced when they released the Petzl Gree Plus. By design, if the release lever is pulled too far when lowering from top rope or a direct lower from the anchor, the cam will re-engage. In order to continue to lower, the user needs to release the handle back to the start position, then pull the handle back down to resume the lower. Both devices function almost identical in a hauling setup. As I mentioned in my detailed video on the Petzl Neox, at first I thought the spinning wheel might add efficiency in an improvised haul, but I then realized the wheel is locked when the device is under tension, so there is no advantage of hauling with a Petzl Neox over a Petzl Gree or the Edelrid Pinch. They both function well as progress captures and reduce friction efficiency in the hauling system at about the same level. Both devices can be used for a single strand rappel. The big difference between the two is similar to the difference mentioned above in the lowering section. The Edelrid Pinch has an anti-panic function, which is probably most noticeable during a rappel. If you plan to do a lot of rappelling on a single strand with the Edelrid pinch, you might consider disabling the anti-panic feature at some point, but I would recommend keeping it engaged for a few rappels first to see which you would prefer. There is a subtle difference in the use of these two devices when ascending a fixed rope. For the most part, the Edelrid pinch feels like a Petzl Gree as a progress capture during rope ascension. The Petzl Neox, though, makes it a little bit easier to pull rope through the device when standing in your leg loop because the device is not loaded, unlike in a haul system, and the wheel spins during that action. Over a long rope climb, you may save a little bit of energy with the Petzl Neox over the Edelrid pinch, but how much energy is debatable. Now for the hard part. Which device is best for you? The crowning achievement of the Petzl Neox is the device's ability to pay out and take in slack as if the rope is just traveling through a pulley. The Petzl Neox is extremely beginner friendly, requiring no special hand techniques other than quality P-bus belay technique. The Edelrid pinch is kind of breaking the mold here, being the first assisted braking device that can attach to the anchor anonymously without another locking carabiner. This is a very intriguing design choice. You can use a separate locking carabiner if desired. It also has an anti-panic feature, similar to the Gree Plus, that you can disable if you so wish to. And it's really competitively priced when compared to other assisted braking devices in the category. So if you're in the market for a new assisted braking device, you're likely already considering one of these two devices. I hope that this comparison video has helped inform you of some of the differences between the two devices, some pretty significant, some pretty minute. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe so that I can keep covering new climbing gear, clothing, and equipment that'll help you get out into the mountains for some adventure. Thanks for watching.